Over to you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So, Hare Krishna devotees, today we are going to sing uh, parts of two of the songs that Srila Prabhupada wrote on the Jaladuta when he was coming to the United States. So, um, if we have the PowerPoint, if you can share the PowerPoint. So, the first song here is Bolo Krupa Ko Hare Krishna. It has so I just picked a couple of verses from the song. These are a little bigger songs, but in the essence of our time constants, I just handpicked some verses. So before we sing the song, we'll just go quickly through the slide of this song, and then we'll sing the song. That way we know what Srila Prabhupada's mood is and what his mission is. So um, we'll start going through the slides one by one. Um, My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. But I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in the material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied. And therefore, they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. I do not know how they will be able to understand it. But I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible because you are the most expert mystic. How will they understand the mallows of devotional service? Oh Lord, I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. I wish that you may deliver them. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only will they be able to understand your message. How will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and most fallen. Therefore, I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. Somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or failure as you like. O spiritual master of all the worlds, I can simply repeat your message. So if you like me, if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. I am sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel gladdened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. O Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance, O Lord, make me dance as you like. So let's sing this bhajan, very beautiful bhajan by Srila Prabhupada. Guru Kripa kaile Krishna Adhamira prati
Krishna Adhavira prati
Ilagiya nile Keta Guru Vedaki
Ilagiya
Ajay chukar jadava Eyan mani Nahe ke no pani bena Deyo Kristane Rajasthan Punera Sabai Achana Vasudev Tharuchi नाम से प्रसन्न बेजादित होए आई सकले संभव Tobi se Kulkarni Pave Puchane Tara Bujare Sara Eka Kripa Karo Prabhu Tori Nij Vasa Abhay Chahoe Jadi Adira Uchi Benishtae Tabe Katha Se Tomar Kune Buchamo Katha Hare Se Icha Ami Dina Dina Kono Shakti Na Atha Chaye Jo Prabhu Katha Boli Pasare Tumar Cha Prabhu Toro Mare Akhila Jagata Guru Bhajana Se Alankrita Karivan Shamata Kumar Abhay Katha Shulta Dunia Samara Suna Dukha Jeruchi Dunia Jujati Prabhu Amare Nachari Nacha Nacha Prabhu Nacha Sifate Nacha Prabhu Nacha Sifate Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare. So we'll sing some of the verses from another song that Srila Prabhupada wrote. The name of the song is Krishna Tava Punya Have Bhai, from his Jalapta Diaries from 1965. So similar to the other song, we will read the meaning of the verses first. Oh, brothers.
Abhay, sorry to interrupt. When you sing Prabhu, when Mataji repeats, we are not able to hear her properly.
Oh, I see, Prabhu.
Even response also, you can also sing along, Prabhu.
Oh, I see. Okay, Prabhu. Yes,
Okay,
Prabhu.
thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu. Oh, brothers, the Supreme Lord Krishna will bestow virtue upon you, but he will do this only when Srimati Radharani first becomes pleased with you. This I surely declare to you. Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is very dear to Lord Gauranga, the son of Mother Sachi, is unparalleled in his service to Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. He is great saintly spiritual master, most magnanimous within this universe, who bestows devotion to Krishna in various places throughout the world. His desire is very powerful, and thus he is causing the holy name of Lord Gauranga to spread throughout all countries of the Western world, in all the cities, towns, villages on the earth, extending to all the oceans, rivers, and streams. Everyone may chant the names of Krishna and Rama. Thus, all directions will be conquered by a flood of transcendental ecstasy flowing with the excessive mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When all the miserable living entities that have been corrupted by Maya become happy, then the Vaishnava's desire is fulfilled. Although my Guru Maharaj ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am unworthy to do it, being very fallen and incompetent. That being the case, O Lord Krishna, your mercy is today arising in a befitting manner to make me become worthy, for you are the wisest of all. O Lord Krishna, you are my eternal companion. Forgetting you, I have suffered the kicking of Maya birth after birth. If today the chance to meet you occurs again, then surely I will be able to rejoin you. O my dear brother, in your company, I will experience great joy once again. Wandering about the pastures and fields, I will pass the entire day with you in tending the cows, joking with you and frolicking throughout so many forests of Raja. I will enjoy pastimes of stealing and eating one another's lunch. When, oh, when that day be mine. Today, that remembrance of being with you came to me in a very nice way. Feeling great longing, I called out for you, O Lord Krishna. Only because I am your eternal servant do I desire your association so much. Except for you, I have no other refuge. So let's sing this song. Again, these are just some pieces of the song that I picked. Krishna tava punya habima, Krishna tava punya habima, Krishna tava punya habima, Krishna tava punya habima. हे पुण्य करे बेचारे राधा रानी सुखी छावे वहने गोरी तो माता हे पुण्य करे बेचारे राधा रानी सुखी छावे वहने गोरी तो माता कृष्ण Saraswati, Sati Sutati Jati, Krishna Sevaya Jana Jutify. Srila Saraswati, Sati Sutati Jati, Krishna Sevaya Jana Jutify. Sei Sevamanta Guru, Jagadira Mati Guru, Krishna Bhakti Dev Hai Hai. Krishna Mohanta Guru, Jagadira Mati Guru, Krishna Bhakti Dev Hai Hai. Krishna Rama Krishna 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 Bhagavad Gita Krishna Sara Icha Balavan Dashta Yedit Manathan Bhajans Gaurangiran Sara Icha Balavan Dashta Yedit Manathan Bhajans Gaurangiran Rakhivete Nagaraji Asamudre Nagaraji Sakadei Bale Krishna Rakhivete Nagaraji Asamudre Nagaraji Sakadei Bale Krishna Krishna Punya Navimana Chaitanya Prabhupada Kirtan Sabe Govind Picture, Krishna, Nira Krupava Teacher, Maya Dushta Jaga Dukhi, Jagati Sabari Sukhi, Vaishnavera Icham Purna, Maya Dushta Jaga Dukhi, Jagati Sabari Sukhi, Vaishnavera Icham Purna. The Prabhupada, Gaur Premanandi.
Thank you, Abhay Prabhu, and Rohini Mataji for brilliant bhajans. So devotees, we are going to go to the next segment of the today's program, which is the class on glorifying Srila Prabhupada. So with that, I just first I want to thank all of you for joining. We will recite Srila Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra and Guru Pranam Mantra before we start the glorification. So Radha Damodar Prabhu will present the slide. Prabhu, can you go to the next one? Yeah. So let's all now recite together. Om Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashata Desha Tarine. The meaning is, I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at His lotus feet. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, O spiritual master, servant of Saraswati Goswami. You are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Deva and delivering the Western countries which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. So this is Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra. And I also want to offer my pranams to my spiritual teachers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Sakshurun Militam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamah Mande Shri Gurundina Taranam. So today is the appearance day of Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So we celebrate both appearance days and disappearance days of Acharyas. That's our tradition. Srila Prabhupada said once on his Guru Maharaj, on his Guru's disappearance day, that on the absolute platform, there is no difference between appearance and disappearance of the spiritual master. Prabhupada used this analogy, just like the sunrise and sunset, both are beautiful. So generally, the absolute platform means, what Prabhupada means is that the platform of pure love for Krishna. So in that platform, there is no difference of separation and meeting, because there is the relationship with Krishna already established and it's fully manifested. So the separation is also a meeting in the absolute platform. Rather, in separation, one relishes the loving relationship with Krishna and his devotees more than meeting. So therefore, we celebrate the appearance days of Acharyas because by their appearance, they give great mercy to everyone in this world. We also celebrate the disappearance days because they have joined the Lord in his eternal pastimes, Nitya Leela, after they complete their responsibilities in this material plane. Yes, as a devotees, we will have some lamentation. So when we celebrate disappearance days, especially Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day, that's because we are separation from the great Acharya in the material plane. So we prefer their physical presence. We prefer their vapu. So therefore, the departure is a cause of lamentation in to some extent. But by remembering the Acharya's teachings, we keep them alive. So that's what scripture says. So the very classic example is the Vrajabasis, the residents of Vrindavan, were all burning in separation from Krishna when Krishna left for Mathura. So they all were burning in the feeling of separation. But what did they do? They sustained their lives by remembering Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's leelas in the fields of Vrindavan, in the forest of Vrindavan, in the towns of Vrindavan. So I'm going to put it like this: the memories connect separated hearts. So that's pure bhakti. Very important point to understand. It is said that when it comes to appearance days of the Supreme Lord, we say every day is Janmashtami. It is not that you welcome Krishna only on Janmashtami day, Krishna's birthday. Because every day is Janmashtami means his pastimes occur eternally. It's a Nitya Leela actually. So every day we have to welcome Krishna in our hearts and in our lives. So in the same spirit, the glorification and remembrance of pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada also is a continuous perpetual festival. And such attempts not only purifies us, but it also pleasing to the Lord. Actually, the Lord loves it when we please his pure devotees, when we glorify his pure devotees. And not only the Lord, even the acharyas, the previous acharyas are pleased, and all the Vaishnavas are pleased. So with that, Srila Prabhupada's glories are unlimited. I mean, I am absolutely not qualified to adequately glorify Srila Prabhupada, but I would like to do it as a service and an attempt to do so. I'm going to attempt to do for my self-purification. And I'm going to share some thoughts or words in glorification of Srila Prabhupada that I realized from the teachings of his sincere disciples and also reading Srila Prabhupada books, especially Prabhupada Leelamrita. That was the first book I ever read when I got introduced to Krishna consciousness. So before glorifying, before I start, I would like to read a beautiful verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 22, verse number 1. That's the next slide. Prabhu, thank you. So let me read this verse. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Tam Karuna Arnavam Kalo Api Ati Guddayam Bhaktirena Prakashita. So, translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is an ocean of transcendental mercy. And although the subject matter of Bhakti Yoga is very confidential, he has nonetheless manifested it so nicely, even in this age of Kali, the age of coral. So I picked this verse because this verse describes the mission of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is Patita Pavana, the most merciful avatar of the Lord, or the most merciful incarnation. And he appeared in order to deliver pure love of God while accepting the role of a devotee. So he came as a devotee. And he taught us by his example what it means to love Krishna, what is Prema Bhakti. So therefore he is called Channa Avatar. The Shastra says that the covered incarnation. So his mission was to teach others the process of bhakti. Or bhakti is translated as devotional service by Srila Prabhupada. So his mission was to teach others the process of devotional service and detachment from anything that didn't foster pure bhakti. So pretty interesting. So bhakti is very confidential. And it is a confidential subject matter. And that's why we see in the human society that very few people understand it. People have their own definition of bhakti. But what is bhakti? Rupa Goswami defines it in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Anybody knows? What is bhakti according to Rupa Goswami?
Anyabhilasha Sunyam.
Anyabhilashita Sunyam Jnana Karmadi Anarvitam Anukulyena Krishna Anusilanam Bhakti Ruttamam. Thank you, Prabhu. So that's the definition of bhakti, meaning pure bhakti means it is devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by monistic philosophy, and fruitive action. So, and a devotee constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. Anukulyena Krishna Anusilanam. That is called Uttama Bhakti. Bhakti Uttama. So put it in one line. Bhakti is performed without desire for personal return. That's the definition of bhakti, Uttama Bhakti. Rupa Goswami says. Because we all practice bhakti to get something in return, material. So when non-believers of bhakti or non-devotees, when they hear this definition, they think that anyone practicing unalloyed devotion to Krishna or Vishnu without desiring anything in return is physically or psychologically deficient. This is what people think. But Srila Prabhupada showed them the opposite. He proved that bhakti is revealed by the devotee. So Srila Prabhupada accepted Lord Chaitanya's mission that is described in this verse as his life and soul, and understood the confidential details of devotional service. Then by his own example showed the non-devotees or non-believers that practicing unalloyed devotion to the Lord without desiring anything in return is possible for every living entity. It's not that he only practiced it. He also made others practice selfless devotion, unalloyed devotion to the Supreme Lord. And so Prabhupada is glorious for revealing the details of bhakti and making them available to the entire world. So that the fact that Srila Prabhupada was able to make the subject matter of bhakti so easily accessible to almost everyone is proof that he is not an ordinary personality. A very important point to understand. He is invested with Krishna Shakti. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, he says, Krishna Shakti bina nahi thare pravartana. Meaning, unless one is invested with Krishna Shakti, he cannot deliver Lord's holy name to others. And he or she cannot convince others to dedicate their lives to the chanting of the holy names. So to be invested with Krishna Shakti means, I'll put it like this for devotees, one who practices pure sadhana, one who sincerely chants the holy names of the Lord, one who sincerely and scrutinizingly hears the pastimes of the Lord, Krishna Katha, one who follows the teachings of the Shastras, one who demonstrates pure Krishna consciousness by his own behavior, character, and example. That's what it means to be invested with Krishna Shakti. And more importantly, one realizes the conclusion of the Vedas. And what is the conclusion of all the Vedas? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita,
Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Sir.
Fantastic. That's Charana Slokam, the one who surrenders to that. And Krishna, that's the extension of that is Vedesha sarvam eva vedyo Vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. Krishna says, 15th chapter, 15th verse, by all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta and I am the knower of the Vedas. So with this, if you look at Srila Prabhupada, he has realized both the Vedic conclusion and he delivered it to the world. Since he is invested with Krishna's potency, Krishna Shakti, Krishna has agreed to appear in his words, in Srila Prabhupada's words. And he agreed to appear in Srila Prabhupada's instructions. And Krishna also agreed to appear in the holy name Prabhupada has given to others. Think about the potency of Srila Prabhupada, the hippies. The hippies are like basically the drug addict, completely, they lost hope in life. And Prabhupada transformed them into a servant of Krishna and servant of humanity in general. How is that possible? That's because of the potency that Prabhupada carried, and that comes by Krishna Shakti. And this is because Krishna is so attracted to Prabhupada's devotion in the heart. He wants to go wherever Srila Prabhupada speaks. And this is how Srila Prabhupada had been able to give Krishna to the whole world, or spread Krishna consciousness around the world. Pretty interesting. I was having a conversation with His Holiness Prabhupada Maharaj this morning about Prabhupada. We were discussing some points, and Maharaj pointed out that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave same instruction that he gave to Prabhupada to other disciples also, Ban Maharaj and others. But what made Prabhupada distinct, what made Prabhupada very successful in his preaching is Prabhupada had absolute faith in the holy name. That's what Maharaj told me. Prabhupada came to America, came to New York. He didn't have anything. Pretty much he was sitting under the, he didn't have even mridanga or kartal to play and sing. Srila Prabhupada just sat under the tree and just chanted the holy name and everything manifested. So that is the power of Srila Prabhupada. And he had an absolute faith. So in the human history, there was never a greater servant of Krishna's holy name than Srila Prabhupada. Because he had so much absolute realization of Krishna's holy name, and he has so much absolute faith in Krishna's holy name that he personally carried Krishna's holy name through the length and breadth of the world. So therefore, he is one of the greatest acharyas who has ever existed or who ever walked on earth. So, and also I was meditating on this throughout the day. So if we carefully analyze how Srila Prabhupada was able to achieve a great degree of success in implementing Lord Chaitanya's mission that this verse is talking about, then there are many lessons we can learn. I just wanted to share some of the realizations that I had just thinking about Srila Prabhupada. So the first and foremost thing that comes to mind is Prabhupada's unflinching faith in the words of his spiritual master, his guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. There's a beautiful sloka which is very famous. Shveteshwara Upanishad says, Yashya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha guru. Meaning, only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master are all imports of the Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. So Srila Prabhupada would say the essence of this Upanishadic verse, which is Yashya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha guru. Prabhupada quoted this verse many times. The essence Prabhupada would say is having equal faith in Guru and Krishna. Very important statement we need to understand. Having equal faith in Guru and Krishna. And if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25th chapter, it's a very beautiful chapter, my favorite chapter in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Lord Chaitanya gives instruction to Sanatana Goswami about the process of bhakti, the process of devotional service. Very important chapter. And there is a 25th verse, which everybody should remember this verse or memorize it. Lord Chaitanya gives the same instruction to Sanatana Goswami. He says, Tate Krishna Bhaje, Hare Guru Rasevana, Maya Jala Chute, Paya Krishna Re Charana. Meaning, if the conditioned soul engages in the service of the Lord and simultaneously, very important, underline, carries out the orders of the spiritual master and serves him, he can get out of the clutches of Maya. So the essence of Lord Chaitanya's instruction in this verse is that the devotional service has these two things, very important, two aspects. The first one is service to Krishna by following the process of bhakti. So what is process of bhakti? Prahlad defines in Srimad Bhagavatam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Vandyam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanimedanam. So the Navavida Bhakti, like Prahlad explains. That's the process of bhakti. The first aspect. Second aspect is carrying out the orders of the spiritual master. So then one may wonder, so is it not the order of spiritual master engage in devotional service to Krishna? Of course, that is a general instruction, so it's very important, which everyone receives from all spiritual masters. Yes, you practice bhakti, process bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, and so on. However, there may be a specific instructions that are unique to a spiritual master, and then there are other specific instructions that spiritual master gives that are unique to a disciple. And in the purport of this verse, that is Madhya Leela 25th chapter, 25th verse, in the purport of this, Srila Prabhupada gives one instruction which is specific to himself, that he received from his Guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and that is Prithivite Ache Yata Nagaradi Grama, meaning preach the message of Lord Chaitanya or engage the conditioned souls in Lord service, but do it all over the world, especially in the West, English-speaking countries. So this is a specific instruction. See the difference? Yes, you have to practice bhakti, generic instruction. Then in that, there is a specific instruction. You practice bhakti, but you also distribute it. But you distribute it where? All over the world, especially in English-speaking countries. So this is a specific instruction. So when Srila Prabhupada spoke about chanting the holy name and spreading Krishna conscious movement to every town and village, he did all those on the principle of following his Guru's instruction, Guru's Vani, with full faith, unflinching faith. So if you read Lilamrita, you can see that his Guru's instructions nourished him and fueled his meditation on Krishna. He could not think of anything separate from his Guru's instruction or Guru's order. So in this way, he lived with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur constantly. Prabhupada himself said that. I was never alone. My spiritual master was always with me because I'm always working on fulfilling his orders. Very interesting point to meditate upon. So there's a specific instruction and there's a general instruction. So Mahaprabhu is telling to Sanatana Goswami, you do both. You do practice devotional service and you also fulfill the orders of the spiritual master simultaneously to achieve perfection. And that's exactly what Prabhupada did. And also Prabhupada's vision of how did Prabhupada spread this? How did Prabhupada spread the mission of Chaitanya throughout the world? And Srila Prabhupada's vision of spreading Krishna consciousness around the world is also characterized by his desire to do it in a particular way. It's very fascinating. And that particular way is Prabhupada's realization that Krishna consciousness can only be spread on a global level with institutional identity. That is, he created a society for devotees, that is ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He gave institutional identity to bhakti practice. So in that way, Prabhupada felt that the organization can fulfill the mission of Lord Chaitanya. He inherited this idea from his predecessor acharyas like Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But Prabhupada felt that along with the expansion of the institution, as Krishna consciousness spreads all over the world, the institution expands. He wants to, he thought that there has to be a proper organization also. Because you can expand like anything, but if it is not organized, then it is not very effective. So he wanted regulated expansion of ISKCON. Very important point. So the institutional identity to the religious practice, in one sense, it's not very unique. As I said, even Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur established institution and he ran it, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur had a similar thought. But you go all the way back, many centuries ago, even Sripad Sankaracharya established a very strong and long-lasting institution. It's still functioning at present time, but it works in somewhat a different fashion from the original purpose of the institution. And you also take the greatest Acharya, Vaishnava Acharya, Sripad Ramanujacharya. He also established an institution. So, however, in India, this concept of religious institution or organized religion is not as common as in the Western countries. But generally, these institutions are governed by one Acharya, in which the leadership, managerial authority, and the spiritual authority are all in one person. So that's how the organized religion or the institutions were governed or run. But Srila Prabhupada wanted his institution to be unique. That is, ISKCON to be under the guidance and supervision of the governing body commission, meaning a group of qualified devotees should govern the institution, not a one person. So Srila Prabhupada wanted it that way. So the governing body commission, or in short we call it as GBC, is not only responsible for managing the affairs of the institution or society in spreading Krishna consciousness, but responsible for providing the ultimate theological guidance and decision making on theological and philosophical issues of the society. So that's the scope of GBC. So Srila Prabhupada established the institution. He also established the governing body commission. So this is the governance aspect of the institution. But the real purpose why Srila Prabhupada created the institution or international society is to give the devotees opportunity to associate with each other, particularly to associate with pure devotees and to chant the holy name in that association. So that's the real purpose of the organization. So in the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th chapter, I think from 11th verse onwards, Dhruva Maharaj offers prayers to Prishnigarbha, the Lord who appeared in front of him, because Dhruva was in a deep meditation and he saw the Lord in the heart, and the meditation broke, opened his eyes, he saw the Prishnigarbha, the Lord Vasudeva in front of him. So Dhruva Maharaj offered prayers because, and there's a beautiful prayer. I think the first verse is, the 11th verse is the first verse. It says, Bhaktim muhu pravahatam tvayi me prasango bhuyat ananta mahatam amalam sayanam. It's a beautiful verse. Prabhupada Maharaj says, "Oh unlimited Lord, who's in front of me, standing in front of me beautifully, kindly bless me so that I may associate with great devotees who engage in your transcendental loving service constantly as the waves of a river constantly flow." Brilliant verse. Dhruva is praying to the Lord. So this particular verse is, in this verse, Dhruva is asking, the Lord, please give me the association of the devotees. He is not even asking bhakti. He is not even asking prema bhakti. Because Dhruva Maharaj knows bhakti, of course, is a gift, but he is asking the means to get the bhakti, means to get the pure bhakti. And to get pure bhakti, there is only one means, only one possibility to get bhakti, that is association of pure devotees. There is no other way. So in the purport to this verse, Srila Prabhupada very emphatically explaining this prayer and makes the point that the very existence of Krishna conscious movement or the society that he created is to facilitate our hearing about Krishna in the association of devotees. So there is no other purpose or goal for creating this society. So therefore, without association of pure devotees, we cannot advance in bhakti. Very important point for all of us to understand. ISKCON temples, ISKCON centers exist for this purpose. So to hear about Krishna, to glorify Krishna, to practice bhakti and give bhakti to others. This is the only purpose. If we come to temple or do service and anything for some other purpose, some other motive, that means we are not following Srila Prabhupada's instruction. Very important point to understand. If you don't follow Prabhupada's instruction, you will never advance in bhakti and you will never achieve prema bhakti. And also in the purport, Srila Prabhupada makes a very interesting statement that he says, all the devotees of ISKCON are pure devotees. Prabhupada makes this. He's talking about sincere devotees. He's not talking about devotees, who's not sincere or who has a mixed bhakti. He's talking about sincere devotees. Sincere means full faith in the process of bhakti, full faith in Guru, and you follow the instructions. So basically, Dhruva Maharaj says in this verse, give me the association of pure devotees, and Prabhupada says in the purport, pretty interestingly, that ISKCON is an organization for pure devotees. So why does Prabhupada say that? It's not that Prabhupada just make a statement without any reference to Shastra. He says, why the sincere devotees of ISKCON are pure? Because the engagement of the system which is organized in ISKCON is such a strong system that it makes us to engage in Krishna service 24 hours a day. Think about it. So we get up in the morning, right? We do Mangala Arati, Tulasi Puja, then we do Japa, then we do Guru Puja, then we just do Darshan Arati, then there's a Bhagavatam class, then after that we eat Prasadam. Then of course we go to work and do duties, but in the understanding with the in relation to Krishna. Then we in the noon, we do Gayatri Mantra, we do Sandhya Vandanam, then we do you offer Bhoga, and then you do eat Prasadam again. Evening come home, take shower, do Sandhya Vandanam, and just spend some time with your family and do whatever. You do everything in relation to Krishna. And you just read some Krishna book, then then go to bed. And again you get up in the morning and you start this. So if you look at it, it is engaging in Krishna service 24 hours a day. And that is the mood and spirit of the pure devotees. Krishna defines the pure devotees in Bhagavad Gita. Anybody remembers the verse? What does Krishna say about pure devotees? Which verse? What do they do? Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantashta dadabhita namasyantascha
Satatam kirtayanto mam.
Right? Very good. So, always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me. These great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. So that's why Prabhupada made that statement that the sincere devotees of ISKCON are pure devotees. So the lesson we can learn from this is that what really makes our organization or society alive is that the real purpose of our society remains the focal point. Very important. Temple is not a place for gossiping or doing politics or talking about something which is not connected to Krishna. This is not the place. That means we are not following what Prabhupada said. So the real purpose of ISKCON is sadhana. It starts there. Individual sadhana. Chanting, following the regulatory principles, reading the scriptures, following the principles in our life. Then the second aspect of real purpose of ISKCON is preaching and giving people the chance to become Krishna consciousness. Very important. And if this is clear in our minds, then no threats of the organization will harm our spiritual development, and will remain happy being the devotees, and will continue the glorious mission that Srila Prabhupada has given to us. But if we forget this main point, if this will become obscure because of the organizational and political and materially motivated mentality of people, then our bhakti will be doomed. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used this phrase, it will be doomed. Bhakti will be doomed, destroyed. Srila Prabhupada understood that, there will be difficulty after he disappears in the moment. He saw it when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur disappeared. What happened to Gaudiya Math? So he prepared for his departure by writing many books. Prabhupada wrote many books. In those books, we have Srila Prabhupada's teachings and which act as guidelines. For this reason, Prabhupada put great effort into writing these books. And his hope was, even he disappeared, the devotees could read his books, and through that take his instructions and gather influence. So that's his idea. But how many of us are reading Prabhupada books regularly? If we don't read Prabhupada books, we won't even know what the instructions are. And we won't even know how to practice bhakti properly in different circumstances. And also another thing that we learn by reading Srila Prabhupada books is we learn about some unchangeable principles that Prabhupada wanted us to follow. No matter what time we are in, what circumstance and what place we are in. Those principles are unchangeable. Some principles, of course, we can change according to time, place, and circumstance, but there are some unchangeable principles that our founder Acharya never wanted us to change. And that is to keep the purity of the institution going into the future, because Prabhupada wanted his institution to go for thousands and thousands of years, 10,000 years into the future. So that means we really had to be a little serious about making certain principles permanent in our movement while expanding our preaching programs. Yes, it is good to expand, it is good to be permanent, but then we see some movements all over the world. They do that, they also change, as we see with the Christian churches. They change after 200 years. They change everything, and after 500 years, they change everything. And again, after 1,000 years, they change everything. So the movement nowadays is not anything like it was when Jesus Christ was around, or even 100 years after Jesus Christ. So it completely changed everything. Philosophy changed, the rituals changed, people changed, interpretation of teachings changed, everything changed, the culture changed. So Prabhupada did not want that to happen to ISKCON. So we have certain principles that we have to keep intact in spite of the expansion, in spite of the organization, or whatever. So there are things that we need to keep there permanently as well. So yes, we have to adapt to the change to the modern world, but at the same time, there are also things that we don't want to change at all. Certain things should be permanently followed. So that's what Prabhupada always emphasized on his books. So it is very important for practicing devotee sadhakas to read Srila Prabhupada's books every single day. Then only we'll know all these things. And so these establish some of the principles that we don't change. For example, we cannot change who is Krishna to something else. We cannot change the process of bhakti Prabhupada has given. We cannot change the Nama Sankirtan. These are like a permanent fixtures of our organization. And that is established in his books. So that's why Prabhupada did put a great emphasis upon the books, because that establishes the unchangeable principles that are necessary for the society to go into the future. It's pretty interesting. A few years ago, in our movement, they did a survey and found out that very few devotees studied Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is twice in 5 years or 20 years or 30 years of practice. Can you believe that? End to end. Many devotees won't even finish end to end. They might be practicing for many years. It was very astonishing. If we don't read Prabhupada's books, how do we know what Prabhupada wanted? How can we achieve Prema Bhakti in the first place? There is no way without the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And also, studying Prabhupada's books is not just taking the book and just reading Nam Ke Vaste, reading. I need to read it. No. We study Srila Prabhupada's books. When we study, we have to study in certain way. That is, when we study, we have to study with the devotion, bhakti, with full faith. So again, to cultivate devotion, how do you cultivate devotion? We also need guidance. So Srila Prabhupada made an arrangement for the society. In that society, we get an opportunity to get the guidance of devotees. From this guidance, we get practical ways in which we can develop our devotion. So that's why coming to temple and associating with devotees is critical factor of bhakti development. There is no way you can achieve success in your bhakti if you don't even associate with devotees and coming to temple, because it's Prabhupada's mandate. Prabhupada created the society for this reason. That's why we have temples and centers. If you see in the founding principles of ISKCON, when Prabhupada incorporated ISKCON in North America, so one of the principles was that to form a society which would act like a shelter for all the devotees. How beautifully Prabhupada did that. Another principle was to publish and distribute the transcendental literatures. And another third one was the Nama Sankirtan. So the study of the scriptures, think about this, how they are connected. Study of the scriptures and the Nama Sankirtan takes place in the association of devotees within ISKCON temple. That's how Prabhupada designed the organization. So after Prabhupada's disappearance, he continues to live if you follow these Prabhupada's instructions. So we should try to understand these basic principles of bhakti, and also we should preach this message to others. So practicing ourselves is one thing, then what we practice, we have to preach. So it is not only that we need to cultivate our own bhakti, we need to also communicate to others. This is also one of the founding principles of ISKCON. Very important point. Preaching. So the movement of Srila Prabhupada established, that Srila Prabhupada established, embodies, I'm going to put it like this, very simple, the principle of spiritual development for ourselves and spiritual development for others. That's it. That is Srila Prabhupada's movement. So we need to balance these two aspects and see we both are developing nicely. Otherwise, we won't advance in bhakti. It's like an easy chair. I always give this example. You feel like going forward, again you'll come back. You feel like going forward, again you'll come backwards. You will be in the same place for lifetime after lifetime. Some devotees they tell me this. They're just satisfied with their personal bhakti development. No? But Chaitanya Charitamrita says you will advance in bhakti more if you involve in preaching or you support in preaching. Yare deka tare kaha Krishna upadesha, it says. It's the mandate. Instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Krishna as they are given in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So these two aspects, you practice, cultivate your own bhakti, then help others cultivate their bhakti. This is our movement. Take Nama Sankirtan as an example, or Harinam as an example. You see these two aspects. It contains these two aspects. It is for our personal development. So every day we chant Japa. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Every day. So we can remember and fix our mind on Krishna. But we also chant loudly. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. We go for Nagara Sankirtan, we distribute books and we do Kirtan and so on. So other people can hear the holy name and can be inspired to chant. See the two aspects? So it is built in Nama Sankirtan. So we have to keep this point in mind. Practice and preach. But some devotees would like to preach only. But if they don't develop their own bhakti, if there is no devotion in your heart, then their preaching will fail. The pendulum swings the other way. So these two aspects should be very carefully balanced. So if we do so, then we can, of course, advance very nicely. Then Prabhupada will be pleased. Not only we advance, we also expand the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. That's why we sing in Guru Vandana every day. That we have to please the Guru and get the mercy of Guru. By the mercy of Guru, we get the mercy of Krishna. So we get the mercy of Srila Prabhupada by pleasing him. By pleasing Srila Prabhupada, we please Krishna. So Prabhupada will be pleased when we develop our own Krishna consciousness and we develop other people's Krishna consciousness. If you remember these principles and act according to these principles, then we are actually being loyal to Srila Prabhupada. We are being chaste to Srila Prabhupada. So the real offering to Srila Prabhupada is following his instructions and preserve and propagate his teachings. That's the real offering. If you read Lilamrita, you can see that Srila Prabhupada's preaching was Srila Prabhupada's life and soul. It's life. It's an interesting thing comes to my mind. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said once that only one who had life could preach. It's pretty strong. I'm going to repeat this. He said, only one who had life could preach. Meaning, preaching gives a devotee life. Preaching means speaking about Krishna, speaking about Krishna brings a devotee a solace. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam, I can quote many examples, but in the interest of time, one example, we can see when Arjuna heard that Krishna had departed, he finished his pastimes on earth and he went back to spiritual world. Arjuna immediately, can anybody tell what did Arjuna do? I think we discussed this in Acharya Upasana. What did he do? Arjuna remembered how he and Krishna had shared so many experiences together. Then he remembered the instructions Krishna had left him. So he was started to remembering his pastimes of the Lord with Arjuna and others. So in that way, the burning in his heart, the sense of separation, in his heart eased a little bit. So similarly, if you remember the instructions and example of such great Vaishnava like Srila Prabhupada, then we can learn the meaning of life. And this is real life. There is no other life. The Bhagavatam says this also, that the bellows in the blacksmith shop appear to breathe, but they are dead unless brought to life by the blacksmith. So similarly, we are dead unless brought to life by Krishna consciousness. Bhakti, including hearing and chanting about Krishna and remembering him and his pure devotees. Sometimes devotees tell me this also, may feel we are incapable for preaching. I hear this all the time. Certainly we do not have the same mercy and the abilities that Srila Prabhupada had, but if we are sincere, Krishna himself will supply whatever is necessary for us to be successful in our preaching. Srila Prabhupada said, my only success was, it is pretty interesting, I followed the order of my spiritual master. Therefore, we should think about the instructions of Srila Prabhupada and our Diksha or Siksha gurus and implement those instructions, and will be very successful in life. We cannot count our success in terms of just numbers. Some people just look at the numbers only and think it is successful. But still, numbers have some significance. I'm not saying numbers doesn't matter. It matters. But if you distribute for example, if you distribute certain number of books, then that indicates something. If you distribute no books, that also indicates something. If you distribute thousands of books, that also indicates something such as more enthusiasm and purity and so on. So along with the distribution of books, we also need to make sure that we develop bhakti. That is most important. So yes, numbers indicate something, but that alone is not the real success. The real success is, are we developing bhakti in doing that service? Are we going closer to Krishna in doing the service? Or by doing the service, you're going away from Krishna. Your demoniac qualities manifest. So that's how we evaluate it. And same goes for preaching programs also, not only for book distribution. Some temples may have few preaching programs. Some temples have hundreds of preaching programs. So this also indicates devotees' desire to preach. But as I said, numbers are not everything. We need to also see the level of advancement of these people in bhakti. So quantity alone is not enough. We need quality also along with it. Quantity without, I'm going to put it like this, quantity without quality is no use. On the other hand, if you have quality but no quantity, that is also not good. That means there is something wrong. In this case, we are advancing, but nothing is happening and no other people around. So what does that tell you? So therefore, we should strive to increase both quality and quantity. So this is also will be very pleasing to Srila Prabhupada. So we need quantity with quality. That's what we want. So today is Disappearance Day of Srila Prabhupada, and unfortunately, we cannot personally have Prabhupada's presence and speak to him, but we can follow very carefully his instructions and please him. Again, if you see Srila Prabhupada's life, all of his remarkable preaching activities took place after the disappearance of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his guru. Even when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was alive, Prabhupada did not have much personal association. But by the results that Prabhupada got, we can see that Prabhupada got the most mercy of his guru, because you don't need to have your guru's personal association, but you can serve his instruction. And that's what Prabhupada was exemplifying. So this is because Prabhupada understood the essence of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's instruction and implemented it, and he got great mercy. So similarly, we should respect Srila Prabhupada properly by remembering and following his instructions. Then whatever seems impossible becomes very possible for a devotee. When Prabhupada came to New York, he was thinking, I can be successful in pleasing my guru if I make one Western devotee in America. This is what Prabhupada was thinking. Prabhupada was thinking like that, one Western devotee. But because of Prabhupada's purity, Prabhupada's absolute faith on the holy name, Prabhupada's determination, tolerance, and sincerity in preaching, he made not just one Western devotee, but many thousands of devotees. Now, it's pretty interesting. So that's his purity. He had absolute faith on his guru and the instructions of his guru and holy name as well. And another important lesson we can learn from Prabhupada's life, if you study the events leading up to Prabhupada's departure, we can learn how he was absorbed in full Krishna consciousness. I was thinking about this point. Not only that, he never neglected his mission, even when he was so sick. Even at the time of his departure, he thought of the responsibilities he had for the society and also for the devotees. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada demonstrated the ideal of how a devotee departs from the world in full absorption upon Krishna. Krishna says in 8th chapter, which verse is that? About the absorption during leaving the body. Which verse? Important instruction Krishna gives. Antakalecha.
Kalecha mameva yashamukta kalevaram.
Ya prayati sa madbhavam yati nasya atra samsayaha. Meaning, whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this, there is no doubt. So this is an important instruction, because Krishna said the remembrance of Krishna must manifest at the time of our departure to reach Krishna Loka, to reach Goloka. So if we wish to remember Krishna at the end, we will have to be dedicated to him while we live. Very important. It won't happen magically at the time of death. You absorb yourself in watching TV and social media and Facebook and whatever, and you think that you will remember Krishna at the time of death. It's not possible. Absorption in Krishna is not something that can wait until later. This is from Srila Prabhupada's life. We realize that we can most easily become absorbed, as Srila Prabhupada did, through preaching. Very important point. Prabhupada showed us how to be constantly engaged in Krishna service by his own constant engagement in preaching. He then taught us how to give up our bodies in full absorption on Krishna by his own example. If we ever think it is time to retire, all we have to do is look at Srila Prabhupada's example to understand that there is no retirement in spiritual life. It's another realization. Prabhupada's definition of retirement is, my understanding is, by giving oneself exclusively to Krishna's service, by giving up all material considerations and attachments. That's what retirement means, according to Srila Prabhupada. We derive this from Srila Prabhupada's personal life. So Srila Prabhupada's mood and mission is to teach everyone how to love Krishna. He taught that love for Krishna should be extended to all humanity. Therefore, to do that, he revealed his complete selflessness. Another lesson we can learn from Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada is completely selfless. If we are to follow Srila Prabhupada, we must be selfless and give Krishna to others. I would say the real manifestation of a pure Vaishnava is or her selflessness. I'll repeat that. The real manifestation of a pure Vaishnava is or her selflessness. And only one who loves Krishna genuinely can be selfless. Materialistic people or the people, non-believers cannot understand this concept. How can we be selfless like that? Because there's no, they cannot comprehend that because they are so selfish throughout their life. So when they see somebody is selfless, they cannot comprehend. So you can be selfless only when you genuinely love Krishna. Otherwise, there is no way. Because if you do not love Krishna, then it is a sign that there is subtle material motives in our heart. Put it other way around. If you have a material motive in your heart, that means you don't love Krishna. Srila Prabhupada brought us together to teach us how to love Krishna, and he taught us how to strive for the ultimate goal, which is love for Krishna. And if you want to develop love for Krishna, we have to have same conviction Srila Prabhupada had. That is, by giving our lives to preaching the mission of Lord Chaitanya. And by thinking of the upliftment of others. Then we'll attain the pure devotional service, pure bhakti. So when Krishna sees the selfless behavior of his devotees, he becomes attracted and offers them the highest perfection, prema bhakti. So, I mean, there's so much to say about Srila Prabhupada, but in the interest of time, I'm going to conclude here. So we should commemorate Srila Prabhupada's disappearance by full remembrance of his instructions, his activities, his pastimes, and example. And if you read Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita, everywhere in his pastimes, we will see the perfect example and hear the perfect instructions. And that will give us the real cause for celebration. So with that, thank you very much for the opportunity. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
So with that, I can take some questions if anybody has. Or any comments. Not the compliments, but comments about Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam.
No problem, Prabhu.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Sure.
In the morning, Prabhuji, you sent a message in the group regarding Prabhupada's and association and also the similarity between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Prabhupada, how their message was same. And I kept on meditating on that thought all along the day. And a couple of times I was just thinking how much Prabhupada did for us, and especially being in an alien country where there is nothing like nobody is there to actually guide us. So I just see Prabhupada as an ultimate guru for us, and also a path provider for us, especially to give us. And your instruction on reading Prabhupada's book is really very, very, very relevant, because until unless we associate with Prabhupada, this is the only real way that we can associate with him, because as Vani and Vapu are the only two things. We don't have Vapu, but Vani is there in the form of inscriptions. So that is very, very close to my heart also. And I always, means every day at least, take out some time to read out Prabhupada's book. And I promise you, Prabhu, that I will keep this instruction with me all the time. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for a wonderful association that you gave with us today, and especially prevailing pastimes of Prabhupada. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Radhasubhari Prabhu. Very encouraging, Prabhu. You are going to read Prabhupada book every day. Thank you very much for inspiring all of us. Any other comments, anyone?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is
Thanks so
Umesh.
much, Prabhu.
I'll join the last 35-40 minutes. I just came from work. Very good class, and as Radha Raswari Prabhu said, I think reading Prabhupada's books daily would help us be in the mood to serve. You said any comments, and both me and Neha are always remembering Prabhupada because of how our life has been afflicted in the US. So I think my question to all devotees is just, we run simulations all the time, right? In a world, if Neha and I run a simulation and if ISKCON was not here, our conclusion of simulation would have been a life in India, because I don't think so we could ever live a life without ISKCON here in Austin. And I'm sure everyone will have different realization, but how much Prabhupada impacts our life probably also is an answer to the question that what would your life be, or what would you do every day, weekends, evenings, mornings, if you didn't have ISKCON? I think if we run that simulation, probably we'll have much more love, passion in the mode of goodness for Prabhupada's mission. And can give us, we all have highs and lows in our life, but then on those low days, I think remember Prabhupada and his mission, and our high days be surrendered to Prabhupada and his mission, so that the lows and the highs don't really affect us.
That's wonderful comment, Prabhu. Thank you very much, both of you. I mean, I wrote this today. The more we realize how valuable the gift that we got from Srila Prabhupada, the more our gratitude will increase in our hearts. So, so that's the nature of gift Srila Prabhupada has given to all of us. So thank you, Prabhu, for sharing that. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. So, Prabhupada wrote the translated Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita in the early morning. So, one thing is like we can read those books thoroughly and understand and implement, and another thing we can distribute. Any other service you will suggest, Prabhu? Any other thought on that line to pay our gratitude to Prabhupada books? And
Yeah, I think Prabhupada said, right, how you show your gratitude to me is how you collaborate with each other. So Prabhupada wanted the cooperation among devotees, just to do service together. And it's one of the most important instructions Prabhupada gave to his disciples. He said, ISKCON is me and ISKCON is my body. So you all have to collaborate, cooperate, and do the service and follow my instructions collaboratively. So this is the one thing he said that comes to my mind. And also I would say that we have to, because Prabhupada came to this country to preach to everyone, not just only from people from India or Vedic culture or people from Vedic cultural background, but it is for bhakti, is for everyone, every living entity. So we all have to think about how to distribute this mercy that we got to everyone, to the Western people. And that is another way to show gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. Even a small attempt in that will please Srila Prabhupada a lot, because he came for that purpose. So I was talking about in the beginning of the class, there is a generic instruction devotees get, and there's a specific instruction. The specific instruction the acharyas get, or acharya gets from his authority, becomes a generic instruction for everyone who comes under that acharya. So that is why, so Prabhupada, the instruction he got is from Bhakti Siddhanta is that you preach, but you preach all over the world, especially in English-speaking countries. So that's Prabhupada's specific instruction. So when we follow that, when you try to implement that instruction on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada will be very pleased. And that's another way of showing our gratitude. Makes sense, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
No problem, Prabhu. Thank you. Good question. Hare Krishna, Kamarana Prabhu. Prabhu, I'm not able to hear you, Prabhu. Prabhu, your voice is not audible. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Kamarana Prabhu. Prabhu, still we are not able to hear you, but anyone else? Oh, audio issues.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhu. Prabhu really touching one point to my heart, Prabhu. That is, if you are sincerely, if you have full faith in Guru's instruction, if you sincerely try to implement that instruction, then Krishna himself arrange everything what we need, you said, Prabhu. I am
Right.
praying to Prabhupada. He that mercy he will give to us in the Guru instruction, we will do, Prabhu.
Very nice, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
So the one thing I remember is the song written by His Holiness Jayapada Maharaj Swami about Yadi Prabhupada ne hota to. So that if Prabhupada was not here, what would have been our situation, right? So we would be still bound by this in this world, and we would be still doing all materialistic activities. So we all have to be very much thankful to Srila Prabhupada. Just a thought. Hare Krishna.
That's again going back to Umesh Prabhu's point, right? I mean, we found a purpose in life because of Srila Prabhupada.
Right.
Yes, very good, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, are you able to hear me?
And now we are able to hear you, Prabhu.
Yeah, as you said, Prabhuji, that when we go for a book distribution, when we say some points from the Bhagavad Gita or SSR or some other perfect question and answer, we are just repeating what Prabhupada said, and the people are easily convincing about those points and, taking the book from us. When we spread a lot of books on the table, I felt sometimes, I am ashamed of, I haven't read those books, like, many books, Prabhupada books. But it's as after I hear from you, we need to equip first ourselves. That's true, Prabhuji, that we need to read all the books. And in such way, we can distribute this, spread this knowledge to more people, because what knowledge we have from the Bhagavad Gita purpose and SSR and some other important books, I'm repeatedly, I am repeatedly saying the same points, but still, I have to learn many things, read many Prabhupada books, and reach out to many people to distribute more books and distribute the knowledge. That's my takeaway from this class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for making me realize that.
Very good, Prabhu. Thank you very much for sharing that. Very good point. And also at the personal level, if you read Prabhupada books regularly, small things won't disturb us that much anymore, because we'll understand the value of life, we'll understand the value of bhakti and the value of service, right? So, and of course, associating with Prabhupada through his books, as I said, Prabhupada is invested with Krishna Shakti. So his writings has potency, and that purifies our heart. So that's why it's very important for all of us. And as I said, the survey ISKCON took a few years ago. It was astonishing because devotees have not read Bhagavad Gita as it is end to end, not even 2 times. No, it was surprising. So if you don't read Prabhupada books, then we'll dilute and all kinds of problems will start to manifest. Right? Yes, Commander Babu, thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad for all
Hare
those
Krishna.
who Prabhupada. Prabhu, in this class, actually one point touched to me, Prabhu. We need to cultivate ourselves at the same time. We need to help others to cultivate them in the bhakti, Prabhu. That one point touched to me, Prabhu.
Correct.
Yeah.
Very good. I think that's it. As I said, that is Prabhupada's movement. That is ISKCON.
Yeah, right.
Our own spiritual development and spiritual development of others.
Will help in others. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
The 2 follow-ups point, Hare Krishna Satya Prabhu, if no one is waiting, the 2 follow-up that came up in our conversation, and I want to put more side and get your opinions or feedback on. One is, I think you said that, I think the whole point of book distribution is that we generate that 1 inch of bhakti, right? And then reading Prabhupadaji's book ourselves, as Kamalyan Prabhu was saying, will ensure that we have that bhakti, and it will be then easy to transform or transfer, as they transfer data, right? Transfer bhakti in others. Because when we read Prabhupada books or Gita or Bhagavatam, right, our own behaviors should transform, and that probably should make it easy for us to instill bhakti in a Western world. I haven't gone for book distribution here ever, so I don't know, but I've heard it's very challenging, right? So I'm just trying to see how do we make it a bit less challenging. And one of my your instruction of reading books, my interpretation is that should transform our own behaviors and instill enough more bhakti in us so that we become a walking ambassador, whether or not we have the book in hand. Do you want to put any commentary on that? And then I have a second follow-up.
Yes, Prabhu. So that's personal example, right? I mean, first the self-application, then the preaching application. So we read Prabhupada books, start to implement in our life, then it will manifest in our behavior, character, and example, and that will influence the other person's heart. I mean, that will transform the other person, as other person's heart, right? So that's how it works. You cannot give what you don't have. You can only give what you have. So if you have bhakti in your heart, then you can give. If you have something else in your heart, and you can only give that or share that with others. So that's what Prabhupada said, that we have to purify our heart by sadhana, service, and reading Prabhupada books regularly and implementing the instructions. Then our life will become sublime and we can influence others. But at the same time, we cannot even wait also, right? Okay, I'll become pure devotee, then I'll go distribute books. That is also not correct. We can just go and attempt, and we are sincerely trying. We may not be perfect, but we recognize our faults and we try to rectify it, and sincerely then do services according to our capacity or capabilities. Then Krishna will help. So sincerity and the motivation is what Krishna sees in any service. So that's my comment, Prabhu.
Basically simultaneously do it, because that was one of the sub questions, that if I may take the entire lifetime reading all the books, and then I may just be sitting home, so kind of read.
Correct. We can give what we have. If you have $10, just you can give $1, $2 like that. If you have $10, how can you give $1 million? So we give what we have. So we preach according to our realizations only. Makes sense, Umesh Prabhu?
It does. Thank you so much. I had a follow, but I'll yield to Vittal Prabhu. I think he has his hand raised.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Vittal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dhanavad Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhuji, just I wanted to one point I liked so much, it touched my heart. One the one you said about
qualitative service and quantitative service. Both should be like progress, like more. It is not like if one also less, it won't be like helping, or like it won't be like progress towards the bhakti. Like both should be quality and quantity. Both should be more. Then only the bhakti progress will happen. That point touched me a lot. Thank you so much for that point. Hare Krishna.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing that. It's very important, So Maitreya Muni says that, one can do the austerity according to one's capacity. If you do austerities beyond your capacity, then it is mode of passion. So similarly, the service also, right? I mean, according to one's capability, one's capacity, one should do, so that the quality can be there. So we have to balance that. And the balance comes by the mercy of Guru.
Okay.
And Krishna, yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Krishna Abhay Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Wonderful discussion. So while you were saying that, I just remembered one past time where Srila Prabhupada himself, when he was hearing Krishna book, he was enjoying it so much that the devotee or disciple who was reading, he felt as if he was, for a moment, he was taken aback. Is Prabhupada written the book or someone else? Because the way Srila Prabhupada was enjoying hearing the Krishna book was as if someone else has written and he's just reading it for the first time. So just thought I'll share that.
That's amazing, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing, Prabhu. So that is like being dictated by Krishna, actually. Right? Wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Nice class, Prabhu.
Thank you. Okay, it's 8:17. If anybody has any burning comment that you want to share, please go for it.
I had my follow-up, Prabhu, if I can ask.
Yes, Prabhu.
I think someone asked this question about how much could we do and what all could we do, right, to serve Prabhupada's mission. And this is a classic question, right? I've been associated with religious institutions since childhood. A classic question of, hey, what all services am I capable of doing, or what all services should I be doing? To me, it's a question, if I compare it to a vision versus execution, right? Prabhupada's vision and ISKCON's mission is to spread Krishna consciousness to as many humans, especially in the Western world, as we could be. Execution is cooking, book service, celebrating festivals, or singing, right? Many different people have many different capabilities or develop different capabilities. So this notion of creating boundaries limits the vision and the mission, in my opinion. And I have not read enough Prabhupada books yet, wherein there's instructions on how many services should you do, and this notion, which generally all religious institutions have, that this is my service. I see that a lot, and I have not come across a scripture yet because of lack of my reading on all Prabhupada's scriptures. So I thought I'll ask that question because it's a question that comes across in my mind.
Right, Prabhu. So I think any service we do, I made this comment in the class, at the end of the day, we need to see if it increases our bhakti or decreases it. Right? I mean, are we inspired to do more bhakti or not? Any service should be enhancing our bhakti, not decreasing our bhakti. So that's the measure, right? So some individuals are very overly, they empowered by Guru and Krishna, so they have extraordinary abilities, capacity to do very phenomenal services and things like that. So that's an extraordinary category, or very specially empowered for that. Some devotees may not have that level of that much empowerment in that particular service, but they may have empowerment in doing something else. So at the end of the day, the inspiration what matters. So what inspires the individual jiva to do in service to Krishna. So that's what they should be doing. So I totally understand, I mean, where you're coming from. So the artificial boundaries set and, doing it for a material motive with a material motive is not bhakti anymore. So that's why I defined bhakti in the beginning. Rupa Goswami defines it, Anya Bilashita Sunyam Jnana Karmadhyanavitam Anukulyena Krishna Anusilanam Bhakti Uttamam. So it's a divide of all material motives. If somebody is very inspired to do a particular service and that connects them with Krishna more, that's totally okay. As long as the motive is only to serve Krishna. Anukulyena Krishna Anusilanam. It has to be favorable for bhakti practice, as Krishna desires. How do we know Krishna desires? Guru defines it, right? So that is first thing, the inspiration to do service, and people can connect with Krishna through that service more. So then they should do that service more. And when it comes to capacity, not everybody will have same amount of capacity. Some people are empowered, some people are maybe not that much empowered. So the capacity varies accordingly. And the third is circumstances also, right? So the situations the devotees are in, sometimes they may not be able to do many hours of service, or they may not be able to do certain services because of health reasons. There are so many other factors also there. So I think all these things has to be considered, but at the end of the day, everyone has to ask themselves the question, am I, limiting myself in doing service for some material enjoyment, or am I just, this is my limitation given the situation I'm in? So that is something they have to ask that question and answer.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. And because our mind is made to think with limits, right? Material mind especially. I always remember this verse, right? Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langite girim yat kripatam aham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. If a dumb person can start speaking, or a deaf can start hearing based on Guru's kripa and instructions, then shouldn't we strive for enabling us to do more? And yes, based on our capabilities, circumstances, but shouldn't we strive for enabling us to do more? That's what we do in our corporate world as well, right? In a nice setup, you have a growth mindset, and this growth mindset has come from scriptures that strive to do more as per your Guru's instruction, because our material mind will limit us, and slowly age will catch up and our body will limit us. But then this verse says that if you have faith, even a rock can do more things, right? So am I interpreting it a different?
No, that is correct, Prabhu. But again, the mercy is there, but you have to be a good receptacle of that mercy, right? The sun is there, but if you put a barricade around you, you won't get the sun rays. The sun is there. So similarly, the mercy of a guru is there, but if you don't want to receive it, and we put a barricade may be something materially, something material, then you won't get that empowerment also. It makes sense? So it takes time. That's why we chant every day. Sadhana has to be done every day, so that all those barricades, all those obstacles will be removed from the path of our devotional service. Then our quantity and quality both increases in service also. So we see all these sannyasis, all the Guru Maharajas in our movement, they constantly serve Srila Prabhupada 24/7. They travel, preach, and do different kinds of services, Kirtans, festivals, constantly. How are they able to do? They're pretty older than all of us. They're 75 plus. And because they're a very good receptacle of Srila Prabhupada's mercy. So the Krishna Shakti is invested in them. So they're able to do, because their capacity increases and their capability increases. So quality increases, the quantity increases, and like that, Prabhu.
Got it, Prabhuji.
Okay, so good comments and question. Thank you, Prabhu. So I think it's 8:24. We'll conclude here. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and see you all on Sunday. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Padita Pavana Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let's do Vaishnava Pranam mantra before we exit. Vancha kalpatarupasya कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णवृंद की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्णा।